Hello, Professor Kinsley. Welcome to my online unit. So I went ahead and decided to use Google Classroom as my platform, mainly because we talked about it in class, but I didn't actually have experience with creating a Google Classroom or navigating one. So I wanted to use this assignment to kind of learn the ropes and get comfortable with using it. Okay, so for the sake of the assignment, I went ahead and said that I was a fourth grade teacher, and my lesson for this unit will be fourth grade. Okay, so I know you said that your students liked the stream in some of your classes, but I agree with you, it's way too unorganized for me. So we can go ahead and click over to classwork. Okay, so as far as the actual layout of the online unit, I kind of took it to mean more of this would be the first lesson within the unit. So ideally, there would be a bit more of like a clicking process. They would click into unit one, and then this would be, week one, unit one. So this is what would be expected from my students during the first week of the online unit. So I kind of have it organized with introduction, practice, review, and quiz. So in my introduction, I liked to provide little blurbs because I know that whenever I've had online classes or even just online assignments, it always helps me to have, like a little note from the teacher telling me exactly what's required from me and, every step of the way, just so I can stay on track. So within my introduction, I have to begin the unit. So my unit is on the circulatory system. So my little note says, to begin the unit on the circulatory system, please view the video attached. This will help us dive in and give you a basic idea of what composes the circulatory system and the important part the heart plays in our body. As you watch the video, please fill out the graphic organizer designed to help you organize your thoughts. This will not be graded, but I will check to make sure everyone is keeping up on the graphic organizer. So this is the video that I had. Basically, it's a little red blood
Hi
cell.
there! Can you guess what I am?
So it's a little red blood cell, and he is kind of exploring the body with you and talking about his role that he plays in the body and how that ties into the circulatory system and how the heart plays a part. And I watched a few videos before I found one that I liked because I wanted to find one that would captivate fourth graders. I think um, my unit, I think, is definitely like has the feel of being a bit too complex for maybe K through 3, um, or at least K through 2. But I definitely think fourth graders can handle like a heavier workload. But I mean, I think they still want a video that would be fun and kid friendly. So when I found this video, I thought it was perfect. It's a cute little cartoon and it's very educational. So he goes through, talking about his process and what he does. So I have that video for them to watch. And then I wanted to make sure that it was interactive and they weren't just watching a video or skipping through it. I want to make sure that they're actually retaining and gathering information from that video because it does have a lot of important information, a lot of which will be practiced, reviewed, and then they'll be quizzed on. So I did include a graphic organizer just to kind of help them rein in their ideas and stay focused and make sure they're consistently taking notes throughout the video. So yeah, so it has these four different it's kind of a tree map with four different categories, so they can jot down notes on what red blood cells are and how the blood plays a part in your circulatory system and so on. Okay, so that's kind of the introduction, and I thought this would really help to bring in some of the best instructional design practices by activating background knowledge. I'm sure that they've heard somewhere about the circulatory system. They all definitely know that they have a heart, so um, it just kind of helps them to recall that background information, where they may have heard it, and how that plays a part in what we'll be reviewing and learning. Okay, so for the practice section, I start with getting familiar with location. So, so I have a little note for them here telling them that I found a really cool program that it allows you to go on a 3D tour of the body, and it allows you to rotate the body 360 degrees. So actually, the whole reason I decided to do a unit on the circulatory system, or kind of like anatomy of like the body, was because when I was thinking, okay, what would be really cool to have um, online? What would be something that would be captivating and interesting for students online? And the first thing that popped into my head was, okay, being able to like use your technology and your computer to manipulate the body and zoom in on your heart. I've even seen some I looked into them for the case of this unit, but I mean, I'm sure there might be some kind of educator discount, but the one where you can actually like hold parts of the body in your hand, or, place like an anatomically correct heart on the desk in front of you. Those were like really expensive programs. I didn't find any free programs that allowed you to actually do that. But that's why I definitely wanted to do something on the body, because I just thought it'd be a really cool and interactive unit for children learning online. So I actually found this little game in Google Play, and you go ahead and sign back in. Okay. So basically, it's once you get into Google Play, and it's free for students, and I wasn't able to bring it up on my Mac, so I had to bring it up on Google. It comes up on an Android, or like a Chromebook. So I figured that would be perfect, because it seems like if you have any kind of access to computers in the classroom, it's usually through Chromebooks. So I could actually see this being a useful tool for when I'm in the classroom. But as you can see, it shows you close-ups of the body. You can animate it, and you can zoom in on it. You can completely rotate it 160 degrees, which is cool, really cool. And you can light up certain parts of the body. So you can say, okay, I only want to see, I only want to see the circulatory system, and it'll light up all these veins, light up the heart. Or I only want to see the heart. It'll light up the heart. You can zoom in on the heart. You can rotate it, look at the back, look at the bottom. And I think that's a really cool activity for children to be able to explore. So that was kind of like a big practice piece that I wanted them to go over. Okay, so then after that, I do tell them in the note that I want them to specifically focus on the heart, and different parts of the heart. And then I do have an assignment where, so then I provide a labeled heart, and, let them look over it. And then I have them label a diagram of the heart. So they do turn they hypothetically, they would turn this in for, it would be an assignment. They would turn it in for points. But obviously, I mean, it's online. They have, the information at their fingertips. It's not like I'm like, don't cheat, because they have so many resources and access to information. So really, I do say that I provided this for, the actual labeled heart diagram for their reference, but I want them to have fun, and I want them to label the heart using this interactive circulatory system, like anatomy-based game, because that's way cooler. So, but regardless, even if they decide not to play, or, have fun with the game, then I am making sure that they at least know the parts they need to know, which are the different parts of the heart. They need to know, the anatomy of that. Okay. So then after we review that, we go ahead and go into the review. So I created a review to hone in on the key parts that I want them to know. I don't want them to send that. I know I personally hate being sent blindly into a quiz, or some kind of test. So to lower that affective filter, I wanted to make sure I provided a review, and I give them a little hint in my notes saying, make sure you look over the review before taking the quiz, hint, hint. So it highlights all the key points from the video that I had them watch. So this is really all information taken from the video that they watched, and also knowing the anatomy of the heart based off of the diagram provided and the interactive Google game. So, and then this is the reference. I actually found a lot of really good information on the circulatory system that was very student-friendly with, kid-friendly definitions on Khan Academy. So I go ahead and link that here in the references if they want to do more exploring or need more explanations or help on that. Okay, so that's the review, and then the last piece, which is, let's see, I know my computer's doing. Sorry, 1 minute. Okay, so then the last portion, which is the quiz. So they can go ahead. I had fun. I created a quiz through Google Forms. So it was fun to play around with that and kind of, see how that worked. So I went ahead and these are all based off of information that was in the video and, the resources provided for them in the online unit. But, it's just, there are a couple multiple choice questions. And then there's also a little part where they label, so they label, it's like short answer. They just put the number that corresponds to the correct name for the part of the heart. And then they submit it to me. I wish I actually had students so I could see how this works on the receiving end. But yeah, so this is my mobile unit. I hope you enjoyed. It was actually really fun to create this. I love how simple Google Classroom is to set up, and I love how you can add these headers. I just think it looks so beautifully organized. I mainly decided, I really wanted to do the circulatory system because I took an anatomy class in high school, and I remember thinking when we would do dissections after, talking about different parts of the body and then doing dissections on different animals, or, I thought about what a privilege that is to actually have physical visuals like that. So I definitely I think it's amazing that, with modern times and the amazing resources that are available to us through the World Wide Web, these kind of opportunities are accessible to all students. So I love that because even in an online class, students can completely rotate a body, zoom in on parts of the body, learn about themselves. And I think that's a beautiful thing. So thank you for this assignment. I had a lot of fun with it, and I hope you enjoyed.